What is the difference between the EAA curriculum and the DPS curriculum?
The difference between the EAA curriculum and the EAA curriculum. Right now, there is a requirement for students to take, again, for high school students, 4 years of math, science, English, and social studies. That's a big change. And also an increase in the number of units required for graduation. That's one change. The other change is how we will provide professional services, professional development programs for teachers to teach and deliver those instruction for those curriculum areas in new and innovative ways. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, hi. I have several questions.
Okay.
In Kansas City School District, you left suddenly and they lost your accreditation.
That's true.
What makes you think that you are qualified to come here and start up a new business? And also, you have a desire to put a lot of TSA, Teach for America, inside the classroom. As a matter of fact, I think you're saving 200 slots for them in preference over certified trained teachers.
125.
200. 125. Okay, well, you lost accreditation, and the accreditation of Kansas City Public Schools was lost under your care. And then there was a school called Southwest in Kansas City. Okay, that was a temporary school. But under your watch, it was turned over from your right sizing technique. It was turned over eventually into a charter school who sold it out, and it was vacant for a while, and then it was picked back up again in 2008.
Okay. You have stated publicly that the schools you were selected, that you selected, are the lowest of our low-performing schools. Explain to this audience why the educational future of their children and the educational recovery of the 15 schools selected should be entrusted to, now you say 125, although at the press conference you said 200, of the least trained, least experienced, non-certified teachers, also known as Teach for America. Okay. First of all, in the 15 schools that we're going to have, there is going to be approximately, right now, is projected enrollment is approximately 11,000 children. Why would I entrust the education of 11,000 children to 125 Teach for America teachers? First of all, 125 teachers are not going to be teaching. Factor in all of the revenue sources. How are you going to account for that $9,000 disparity without throwing the EAA school into a deficit situation and yet at the same time meet the educational needs of our special needs children? Well, with regard to, I'm not aware of the $9,000 disparity that you speak. We will receive the per pupil allocation that comes from the state, and we will also receive those federal dollars that are provided to the Education Achievement Authority, just as they are any other school district, to educate its special education population as well as the regular education students. But here's the thing about FAIR. When you look at the percentage of students, and this might account for some of the disparities that you're talking about, there is an overrepresentation of students who have been assigned to special education. And when you have an overrepresentation of students, identifying more students than actually need to be identified, that raises the cost. And so that raises the cost. So we will have as a primary goal, as a result of having gone through a special education audit, we just got the results maybe 2 days ago, that there is in fact an over-identification problem of special education children in Detroit. And so Detroit has a practice, particularly for black males, of identifying
them as special education children when they are not. And as a result of that, you're spending additional dollars to serve them when you shouldn't be, because they're not special education in the first place.
Okay, and this is the time I'll combine the last.
Okay.
And I'm sure you will. Who's going to provide?
If he was a senior.
If he was a senior.
Yes.
Where is it going to be provided? How is that impact what he has to do relative to the remainder of his classes in his high school? And the last question is, the governor has said repeatedly that the EAA district, that the collective bargaining agreement will transfer into the EAS, the EAA district minus whatever modifications have to be met and negotiated. You have said on more than one occasion that a decision about union representation has not yet been determined. You are in contradiction to what the governor has said. So, as far as I'm concerned, salaries that you talked about are salaries that have to be negotiated with me. The worker conditions have to be negotiated with me. So unless and until I hear directly from the governor that he has changed his mind, I'm holding the governor accountable to what he told me. And understand, as president of the Detroit Federation of Teachers, I do not have to negotiate on the part of teachers at the expense of children. The two definitely are inextricably linked.
I'm going to start with your last question. With regard to whether or not the union agreement is going to go over or come over to the EAA, you're absolutely right. I have said on repeated occasions that that is a decision that has not been made. And when I'm asked that question, I have said, I don't know, because there is no decision at this point. That is my understanding, and I am holding to that. I have, if you have some sense that the governor has said that the CBA will transfer over, that's news to me. I have not heard that.
Then we need to talk.
You know where my office is.
No, actually, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, you definitely
and
you have your business card at the time. I don't even have
I'm not going to debate it with you. You know where my office is. When I first came down, or first got to Detroit, I came to your office, we sat down, and we had a civil conversation. And not only that, a lot of the things that we are proposing in EAA, you pull out of a little book and show it to me.
My name is Hodo, and I'm here to ask you a couple questions. Right. Now, according to the booklet that you guys passed out when we first came in, it says that none of the children are going to be forced to go to these schools. Now, if this is the only school in your neighborhood, and usually people buy homes so that they're close to the schools so that their children don't have to go a long way away, if their school is transformed into somewhere that they don't necessarily want to go, and they don't have anything else close to go, they will be forced to go to these schools. I want you to answer that one first.
Okay. The answer to that question is any student who is currently enrolled in the EAA school, if their parent chooses not to enroll them in the EAA, that is certainly their choice.
But they're not already enrolled in EAA schools, so you don't have any yet.
They are not required to attend an EAA school. In other words,
they can go somewhere else.
The choice that parents currently enjoy, they'll continue to enjoy that choice.
Also, you talk about the test scores, and the test scores are based on how a couple years back when John Engler was in office and they did away with the special ed school. And now you have intermingled, not necessarily you, but it has been that they've intermingled the special ed students into the regular population, and they're taking the same test as the regular population, and all of these scores are being intermingled, which brought down the totality of the scores across the board. So how will you be able to determine what's been the challenge in the first place if you don't know how many are in particular schools that are bringing these scores down?
Right. If students are special education, they're not required to take the regular meet as regular education children. They take an alternative test.
Okay.
So it's not the exact same thing.
Some do.
Well, some do and some do and some don't. But they take the exam with modifications, you're right.
Well, as you just didn't know the answer there, when they had to tell you, it's not guaranteed that that's necessarily true. Now, also, I want to know that since last year, President Obama came out with the nanotechnology initiative, which was supposed to be spread out through all of the educational departments across the United States. Is this any part of these EAA schools? The Obama nanotechnology initiative. Have you even heard of that?
Yes. In some cases, we intend to incorporate some of those things. In other cases where the federal government is providing grants for initiatives, whether it's for technology, whether it's for additional state dollars, we intend to take advantage of those things as well.
Okay.